Hello everybody and welcome back to Pravus Gaming and more Plague Inc. Evolved Custom Scenarios. Fair warning, I am in a bad mood today for reasons I don't really care to go into because it'll just make me flustered, but just know that that's a thing. Fear Plague, you know what? Screw it, that's what we're going to do today. I saw it before, thought it looked interesting, I'm subscribed and now we're doing it. Mankind has stopped many deadly plagues that could have caused the extinction of our species. Namely, one man kind of has stopped many deadly plagues. But can they stop the plague that feeds off of fear? Oh, this is going to be some, like, scarecrow stuff from Batman. A small bacterium hidden deep below the sea level has infected its unnecessary comma, has infected its first individual, and does not plan to stop there. The bacteria has, like, sentience, it's got plans. Unlike any other pathogen, this bacteria seems to spread through emotions, specifically fear. The more it is feared, the more powerful it becomes. Oh, it's terrorism. There is no way to develop a cure for it because of how complex its strand composition is. The only way to cure it is not to fear it. This takes away its power, and the only way of transmission, and be brave in the face of death. If humanity can work together, they may be able to stop it, but then they can find the courage to be fearless in the time when there's no hope. Or will this fear plague be able to frighten all and end all life as we know it? Okay. 2 new events following. Okay, let's just get started. It's fine. Fear plague. Bacteria. Standard setup. Sure, why not? Normal difficulty. The fear plague. Do I just want to call it terrorism? Screw it, I'm calling it terrorism. Like I said, I'm in a mood today, alright? It happens sometimes. Please leave feedback and don't forget to give a rating. Your opinion matters. Does it, though? Does it? The bacteria has surfaced from its deep home and has infected its unlucky victim. Choose where the bacteria shall be unleashed. Let's do an India run today. Why not? India's fine. It's still a good starting place. Terrorism begins in India. I did that mostly because I didn't want to say terrorism starts in Saudi Arabia, because that might be a little bit... Okay, I just realized how bad choosing the terrorism actually is as a name. Oops. Okay, well anyway. Water. Bacterium naturally lives in water. Due to this, it's very effective in humid countries. Also has a good chance of ship transmission. Start with that. Nice. Glad I started in a humid environment. Pollen. Bacterium can latch onto pollen, allowing it to spread by land. Land? Not like insects, because you know insects spread the pollen. Not by air, because some of the pollen is airborne. Just land. Okay, that's fine. Endless nightmare. Bacterium will stay in dead host and cause random movements. Bowel movements? I'm willing to bet this has something to do with a corpse transmission. Maybe mutation as well. Rumors. Infected will spread rumors about a scary bacteria, increasing infectivity. That's 1 DNA. All right. Worry. Infected will worry about basically terrorism constantly, causing the public to fear it more. Is this going to be like some statement on our society in the West? I don't know. I'm actually kind of worried that people are going to take this the wrong way. I didn't give it more than 2 seconds of thought because I'm in a mood. Oops. Anxiety. Frequent worry over bacterium causes anxiety, increases infectivity, but increases severity. And zoonotic shift. For some reason, now we have cross-species infection. I've always known that the penguins were secretly terrorists. Alright, insomnia. Infected lose sleep due to their fear of the bacterium. We'll go ahead and grab this, sure, why not? That leads to mental instability. Lack of sleep causes brain cell loss, leading to mental issues. Stress. Lack of sleep and fear of bacterium causes stress. Okay, abilities. We have our cold and heat resistance. We also have bravery resistance. Instead of, you know, the cure and all that, or drug resistance. Bacterium can overpower more brave countries. And DNA repair. Bacterium gains the ability to use its total nightmare trait, which is obviously something that we need to pick up. Alright. Yeah, maybe I should have started in the Middle East. Maybe I should have just committed to this and moved on. I wasn't feeling quite that brave. Anyway. Yeah, let's go for mental instability. Sure, why not? Then we have aggression. Brain cell loss progresses, causing severe aggression in infected, which can be lethal. Okay. We're getting around a little bit in India so far. Actually, a pretty reasonable amount of spread this early on in the game. Pandemic danger exaggerated. A global pandemic only has a 2.5 chance of wiping out humanity. Some might say that's 2.5% too much. But alright, pollen, we'll go for some land transmission, why not? We'll also pick up stress because it's pretty darn infective considering, and a little bit more severity isn't even that bad for me. Could really use a bit more severity, get a little bit more DNA as we spread by land. There is pollen too. Bacterium can break apart pollen, causing multiple small fragments to spread even further. Do we want to go for zoonotic shift? It does increase future research speed, it somehow makes people braver, but it increases mutation chance. I think I'll go for anxiety instead. That leads to dread. Infected dread the bacterium and warn others of its evil. Increases infectivity greatly because more people are becoming paranoid about it. I really feel like this is the point where I'm supposed to make some sort of really insightful statement about the West and security concerns and stuff like that, but to be honest, I'm just not feeling it right now. Just not feeling the responsibility. Let's go for dread. That leads to hatred. Infected will form a hatred towards the bacterium and will tell anyone they see about how terrifying it is. Honestly, there are definitely times where I'm kind of thinking that I don't need to make any commentary, whether it meant to or not. The scenario is kind of doing it for me. So there you go. We'll go for the UK. That's been infected. Do we want hatred now? Could do that. Could also go for pollen. Now, is that more land transmission? It doesn't exactly say. I think I will go for the hatred because it's super infective. And then lastly, we have fear. I think this is a little bit out of order here. You know, fear leads to anger, and then anger leads to hate. But instead, we've taken a step backwards, and hatred leads to fear. Infected fear the bacterium more than anything and will only talk about the bacterium. Unlocks the horror traits. Well, obviously, I want to know what the horror traits are. Holy freaking crap! That worked. That worked well. Let's go for it. Wait, there's no severity. How did that... We lost our severity? Well, no wonder I'm getting practically no DNA from these bubbles. Muscular dystrophy. Okay. This is the thing, right? We've created a disease here that people are incredibly afraid of, and all it does is basically make you not sleep. And that's mostly it. Apparently it can also affect your muscles eventually, but in the meantime... Still... Alright, let's go for muscular dystrophy. This leads to the immune system failure. We're starting to get towards some lethality. Okay, probably should go for some resistances instead. I'm thinking cold resistance makes some sense. Don't lose the bubbles. Doop, 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 doop. Can barely keep up. Let's also go for bravery resistance. Now, one problem with calling it bravery resistance is I'm guessing it's still tied into the drug resistance mechanics, which basically means that all the wealthy countries are brave, i.e. only the West is brave. Some people might take that the wrong way, don't you know? Some people might. Psychological hardening 1. Bacteria manipulates the brain, making it harder to face. I actually kind of like that. I mean, so far, actually, the naming of things is kind of good. It's not half bad. We've gotten into every country in the world. All right, I'm not worried about corpse transmission. We need some lethality. I'm going to go for the immune system failure at this point. Yeah, so far, the naming of everything here is actually kind of good. I kind of like it. I actually kind of like the scenario so far. Now, the one problem is we've managed to infect the world very rapidly, but now with no healthy people left in the world, no easy DNA, so I just kind of have to wait for bubbles. That said, the cure's not even really at work yet, so we could go for schizophrenia. Very unpredictable, dangerous actions. Had we gone for something like zoonotic shift, we could save up for that and see if the mutation chance takes me the rest of the way. That would be an option. Maybe. I think it makes more sense to go for some lethality just as a guarantee. So I think I'll do that. Let's go for the schizophrenia since we did get the immune system failure for free. We also have organ tissue damage, which is very lethal and mutagenic. Mutagenic. I'm assuming that T is not supposed to be there, but I actually don't remember how that's spelled. In some cases, insanity. Loss of personality and damage to the brain functions leads to a complete loss of sanity. Hopefully the increased lethality starts to carry me a little bit because, well, I've reached a point in the scenario where I'm just sort of out of gas, and I need to just sit back and wait. Oh, they're finally shutting down some of their ports and airports and stuff. Wow, that cure's going a little bit on the fast side, though. Okay, Brazil leading global cure effort. Need more lethality, please. Uh-oh. I may have misplayed the scenario slightly, which I can't even say is bad. Like, is it even a bad thing if I lose a scenario? Because then terrorism loses. That's a good thing. We like that. Like, I'd be some sort of national hero. Yeah, I think we may be in a little bit of trouble. We're not killing anywhere near fast enough to outpace that, that cure, the bravery. The world is becoming braver. Resisting the fear-mongering of terror. Insanity. Well, the whole world went insane, though. That's going to slow things down a little bit. It's hard to be brave when you're also insane now. That's horrible. We could go for homicide, or we could go for suicide. Both very effective, both very expensive. Not much I can really afford at this point. I can really only afford to reset some stuff. I guess I'll go for a little bit of psychological hardening. That does lead to psychological hardening too, but I don't think until we get bravery resistance level 2, we'll be able to get any sort of, you know, genetic reset. So that's a problem for me. Anything? Ugh, it's not going to be enough. They're going to cure me. I'm going to go for the bravery resistance. That leads to emotion reshuffle 1, harder to face. I need 21 DNA in, well, now. Yeah, somehow I find this a little on the unlikely side. 21 points. Can I reset this? I don't think so. I think it's over. Yeah, all right. So I'm going to reset this one, and now I'm not going to call it terrorism this time. We're going to try again. But it'll just be the regular fear plague, and this time terrorism doesn't get to win. All right, I'll be right back. Well, looks like we got it this time around, so I did call it the fear plague as it's supposed to be. And I did pick up the zoonotic shift, which makes it a little bit easier to get some of that mutation chance, and even though they are curing me very rapidly, well, the mutation chance has kind of saved my bacon. Heart failure, turns out, very lethal, so should be able to win. Kind of wondering if I want to go for DNA repair just so we can see what the total nightmare trait is. But I don't see it anywhere, so I have really no idea what that does. By the way, zoonotic shift also led to insects, snakes, and sea life. So there you go. Let's see, we also have access to total organ failure, which is apparently different from heart failure because it's all the organs instead of just the hearts. So there you go. Super duper effective, though. Ukraine is an anarchy. Alright. I'm going to go for this. Oh, you have to get all of these in order to go for the emotional reshuffle. That seems a little bit restrictive. Alright, I'm not going to be able to afford a genetic reshuffle, I think, in this playthrough, but that's fine. Well, maybe I can. I'll take that back. I can totally get one. Alright, reset the cure. Or rather, the bravery. There we go. Everyone in the world shall succumb to fear. It's a good thing I lost the last attempt, though, because that way the terrorists never win. So, I can only be a good guy for losing. And now by switching the name around, you can't get mad at me. The Fear Plague has successfully eliminated all life on Earth. 53,000 points, 2 stars, 427 days. Pretty fun scenario all in all. It's actually really well done. I think the only criticism I have is that it's a little bit too high on the infectivity. The result being that it's suddenly very easy to infect the entire world and completely run out of gas. Now, once you've played this a couple times, you know what to watch for. You know to get that lethality a little bit sooner, or at least go for the mutation chance. Actually, I think that could be a pretty big saving grace for the scenario, is just throw in a little bit more mutation chance and kind of let fear evolve itself, because fear kind of breeds more fear. That would be the only criticism to make. It's too easy to get a little max infectivity and not enough lethality to actually follow through. But otherwise, as far as the descriptions, as far as just the order of things and the theme, works really well for me. I kind of like the scenario. Not half bad. Despite being in a bad mood, you have turned it around, and I am feeling pretty good. Thank you for the scenario. Well done. Thank you all very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed. If so, then be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe, and I, as always, will see you guys next time.